Welcome to our exclusive interview. My name is Aminah Imani, and today I'm here with Naja Hall. She is the founder of Blended in Black. I was introduced to her from a friend. I saw her group on Facebook, which has now reached
like 6,000, 6,500, and growing every day.
Good. All right, we gonna
it's okay.
Right. So, now we're gonna introduce officially Naja Hall, the creator and founder of Blended in Black. And first, I want you to go ahead and tell everybody a little bit about yourself, and then go ahead and explain what Blended in Black is, and why you feel it's necessary and important, and what made you create the platform.
That was like 6 questions you asked me at once. You should write those down. My memory is bad. So hey everybody, this is Naja Hall. I'm the founder of Blended in Black, and Blended in Black is a platform that's created for the sole purpose of mending and blending families, and it's also just a space for individuals that are part of step families to come in and seek therapy, get help, to see how, as you were saying, Aminah, to see how other people whose position you don't really even care about or who you would never even understand, you get to hear their stories. Because I'm a stepmother. You're a biological mother. It was therapeutic for me, during our session, just speaking to you and hearing your feelings, because it gives me so much empathy for my children's biological mother. As opposed, in the past where I might have been like, oh my gosh, she's being mean or this and that. I've gotten to be able to seriously empathize and sympathize with a person that I may have not been able to do that with. So Blended in Black is about bridging gaps and mending and blending. And what was the other question you asked me?
Well, I wanted you to first tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh. I'm sorry. So I told you my memory. So my name is Naja again, and I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, born and raised. I have been in New York for the past 10 years, and I'm a writer, producer, director. But one of my passions and one of my ministries now is to solidify blended families. So I met an awesome guy. We dated for about 2.5 years. We just got married 7 months ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I'm a stepmom. I'm a stepmom of 3 awesome kids, a 12-year-old girl, and 5-year-old, almost 6-year-old set of twins. And my husband he was previously married to their mother. And obviously, the divorce happened, and we know that's a thing that's extremely devastating. A divorce is like the death of the original family unit. So when divorce happens, it's like a death. But when you lose a loved one, they're in the ground. You have to move on with your life. But with a divorce, you actually have to see this person live a life and possibly be happy without you. And you have to figure out how to raise children with them and how to coexist with them. So you still grieve equally, but I think the process is a little harder, because when they say life goes on, you truly have to learn how to allow your life to go on without with this person that you're not with. So I hope I answered all your questions.
So what makes you a blended family expert?
An expert. I like to look at it like this. Like, I have a male gynecologist, right? He ain't got the parts that I have. What makes a person that does not walk in all shoes of a blended family and expert? And I kind of like to use, compare that to being a male gynecologist. Like, how in the world can he know something about something that he doesn't even have? How are you an expert on a vagina and you don't have one? Well, first of all, everybody, I don't have biological children. I do have stepchildren. And the thing that I've done, just like I can say any person that calls himself an expert, is I have studied. I have prayed, and prayer is very important. I'm sure we'll talk about that at some point. But I've studied the entire family dynamic. And, for those of you that might not be convinced, I do have a degree in family and consumer sciences. Okay. So I studied early child care, behavioral science. I'm also almost done with my certification and becoming a certified family life educator. So, I'm getting some more letters behind my name. But as far as me being an expert, I'm an expert at empathizing with people. And I know how to I can feel the pain of others. And I can also show others what it's like to empathize with other people. Like during the session that you and I had, I think, we had some moments of clarity. We both were just like, wow, I didn't look at it like that. So I feel like it's my job and my mission to make you look at it like that.
Right.
And that way you might go easy on dad's new girlfriend, or you might go easy on your husband's ex-wife, Or when your stepchildren act up, you might say, you know what, let me be very patient because these children have been through something extremely traumatic. So those are just some of the things that make me an expert. And, I'm an expert, I think that's a strong term, Right. I think like when people say they're an expert, you kind of sound like you're perfect and you know everything.
Right.
I'm learning every day. I'm a new stepmom, so there's people that I have a council of women that have been doing it 20 years
right.
that I go to. So I'm smart enough to seek counsel.
Right.
I'm smart enough to shut up and know when to listen to other people that know more than me, but I'm also smart enough to find people that are way smarter than me. Like I have a team that I work with Blended in Black who are extremely smart people. So if I ain't got you covered, then they do.
Right. And then I must say, even when we had our session, you were very educated on the legalities of the situation.
Yes.
So I know for me, I had my own personal, court order or, things that were established in my relationship that you were able to tell me, hey, Aminah, that's not right. I see where you could think that you're right, but you're not right. And so I must say that as well.
Right. I've made myself, I can't say I'm an expert on blended families, but I've made myself the consummate student. I am a student of how this thing works, this family system. Like the one thing I teach people is the family is a system. Look at the family like an automobile. If you take off the tire or an automobile or the steering wheel or some other pertinent part, it's not going to function properly. And it's the same way with the family. If mom is not happy, if dad is not happy, if the children are going through something, then this entire system might be dysfunctional. The purpose of what I do is to show everybody that are pieces of this system how to coexist. And we have some cases where it's just not possible. Right. And that does not mean it's the end of the world. That doesn't mean you're broken because this certain piece of your family is broken. I do teach you how to work around that. We got parallel parenting, we have co-parenting. So, it's just up to, it takes time and many years to know which one is right for a certain person, for a certain group.
And getting to know more about you, can you go ahead and, let us know about your family and where you come from? Do you come from a blended family?
So my parents are about to celebrate their 40th wedding anniversary this summer. Okay. And my husband's parents, we actually got married on their anniversary. They're celebrating 33 years. Okay. So he and I both come from seeing happy marriages. I grew up, I don't even really remember seeing my folks fight too much, and so my husband, his name is Tony. I'm sure you guys will hear me talk about him a lot in this interview. He also says the same thing. He's like, I really didn't see my parents fight. So when it started happening in his marriage, he's just like, this is not what I'm about. This is not who I am. And, obviously there's other things that lead to the destruction of a marriage. And that's not for me to get into here on this program. But no, I don't come from a blended family at all. I'm in one now, though. I'm all up in one now.
No, and I just, I think that's important to ask, too, because I think that's where our family values start, from our family. So whether you're in a blended family or not, you still have values that you took away from what you saw and what you learned, and you implement in your own family too. If you could think of any, maybe 2 core values that you learned that were solidified in growing up with your parents, what would you kind of think of and say?
Oh my God, patience. Because they're about to be married for 40 years. Whew. That's like way longer than I've been on this earth. Way, 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 way longer. Number one, patience is the one thing that I can say. And I think that kind of just goes without an explanation. To do the same thing with the same person, looking in their face for 365 times 40, that takes a huge bit of patience. And then I would say, after patience, I would say the next thing, if I could only name 2, if I have to pick like something that's also most important, is consistency. Being consistent, and consistency can fall under, like, there's so many things that can fall under the umbrella of being consistent. Like, are you consistent with your level of honesty, with the time that you put into your family? Are you consistent with showing love to your spouse, to your children, to extended family members? So yeah, I would say those 2 for sure.
I think those
patience
are
and consistency.
No, those are definitely 2 good values. What is your role now currently that you play in your blended and black family?
If you guys didn't catch that before, it's okay.
You gonna have to edit that out because I didn't mean to call you a blended and black family. That was too much.
My role in the blended and black. Okay. No, it's okay. We can keep going.
Okay.
So I am.
But I do want to rephrase the question.
Okay.
What role do you play in your blended family?
In my blended family, I'm the stepmother, and I'm the evil stepmother. No, I'm just kidding. I'm a bonus mom because I don't really like the word step because it just sounds so formal and cold. But I'm a bonus mom. I am the three kids. I won't call their names here, but I'm the stepmammy.
Right. And aside from your legitimate role, what do you feel like you contribute as far as like principles? Are you like the mediator? Are you extremely positive? Do you feel like you're the defender? You know, some people play that kind of specific role when it comes to situations. How do you feel like you are with your blended family?
Well, to be quite frank and to be quite transparent, my situation now is that I don't get time. I don't get much time with these three children. And it's not because I don't want it. It's because, how do I stay politically correct? It's honestly because we are, it's not allowed at this point. Like when my husband and I, we live here in New York City, the children are in the South. So we have to travel to go see them. They're not allowed to leave the state. And so basically we're just restricted to visiting. And so there's not a lot that can be done on 6-day visits or just a 3-day weekend. There's really not a lot that can be done. So I've just been their friend. You know, in my interactions with these children, I've just tried to be their friend because initially when I was introduced, the oldest one was very traumatized with my presence because of some of the things that her mother was not in a good place.
Right.
And she would, like I tell everybody not to do, don't you involve those children. You let them keep their innocence. Don't get them caught up in adult mess. And in this case, this child was not allotted that, was not afforded that. And so I'm just extra easy and extra patient and just show her as much love as she can accept from me. Just to show her like, look, I'm not the bad guy. I love your dad, so I love you. I know you don't really know me that well. I don't know you that well, but anything that man has created and touched, I love.
Right.
And so when we're together, I'm the cool person. I'm definitely not there to take their mother's place. I would love a more active role in their lives because, just from what you and I have been able to give one another, I think that I would be such a great thing for them.
You would definitely spoil them.
Yes. Like I was out today and I saw this cute little bag because I know one of them likes this little cartoon character. I was like, oh my God, there's a little purse. I wish I could send it. Like that's the stuff that I would be doing all the time. But this kind of alludes to the family being a working system. And if one part is broken, it just, it's kind of tough for everybody. So, just one thing I want to say is the custodial parent, which in most cases is the biological mother. If mama's not happy, ain't nobody really happy because this is not a happy thing to not be able to openly communicate with three children that my husband loves dearly. And, and I see him trying and I see how he is about the situation. Men are completely different with emoting. So, if I could though, I like to call step parents as kind of like, sometimes you're the stage hand, sometimes you're in the leading acting role, and sometimes you're not needed at all. And that's what I've been. That's what I've been. My husband.
Very flexible.
Yes, you have to be extremely flexible. You can't be thin-skinned. You're gonna hear, you ain't my mama, you ain't my daddy. I mean, it's just it comes along with the territory. And I could say that as a stepmom, I never thought I would be in this position. You see, I'm stuttering because it's like, wow, it's still unbelievable. I never, ever thought that I would be in this position. But a lot of the people in Blended in Black, in the group and that follow the website and on the newsletter, it's kind of one of these things where you don't need it until it happens to you.
Right.
Because who expects to be a single parent? Who expects to be someone's second wife? Like, who expects to be a divorced man or a divorced mother? Like, no one plans that. Right. Most people don't plan that.
So let's talk the drama.
Okay, drama.
Because we all have it.
Yes.
It's in our lives. Sometimes it's, a little more pronounced than necessary. But go ahead and let us know about the drama that you have to deal with. What are some of the ways that you deal with it?
Drama. Okay, so, I'm all about being transparent and I don't want people to be like, oh, you got drama going on. What makes you, why you think you can run this thing if your stuff ain't straight? I'm honest, number one, and I'm accepting of where my place is. But as far as the drama, like I said, I'm a very prayerful person, and I believe God. God, put us all in this situation for some reason. And so I tend not to like to speak on what has happened and all the craziness that has happened. And there's a lot, I'm sure just as like you guys can imagine, there's a lot of craziness that has happened.
I know.
In my own situation, those of us that are in these situations.
In my situation as well.
Right.
Sometimes I look back and I'm like.
You're like, did I do that? Did I say that? Like one thing from the beginning when I got immersed into this blended family is I made sure that I didn't engage. Like I completely disengaged. And maybe that made me look weak or very passive, but what I saw was a sister in pain, angry, lashing out, very confused, very frustrated. She had been lied to and misled, and whether it was her fault or not, like at this point, this is a situation, there's 3 kids here, so we're not going to place blame on anybody, but right. She and I have had a moment of clarity. Like we had a 3-hour conversation this past summer. It was before our wedding, and I could tell in the conversation, like when you talk to somebody for 3 hours, you would think like, wow, there's a resolution reached. I could tell that she was still hurting because she was making like backbiting comments, and I took them. I ate them. Like that's what I learned that here in New York. I just ate them. I ate them like an apple, and I swallowed them, and I didn't regurgitate anything nasty back at her because I was like, okay, she doesn't know me to have to respect me. All she knows is I'm about to marry her ex-husband.
Exactly.
She knows that we started dating not too long after they filed for divorce. She knows that I did not know this man when they were married, but guess what? I'm about to get all this. She knows this. She's admitted that she knows this, but it's just the fact of the matter that, oh, you're the one that's with him now, so you're gonna get it. All this hatred, like you're about to get it. And I just wasn't down for that. Like I don't play with people. I don't like people playing with me. I don't disrespect people. I don't impede on people's space. I'm extremely honest. I'm extremely loyal. Like the people that know me and love me know this about me. But this lady saw me as, she didn't see me as any of those things. She saw me as, I don't know, you could probably think of a few choice words. Because I'm, like you're a single mother. So right. Like, how it feels to watch a person move on. And she was just unable to. So anyway, we had a very clear conversation not too long ago. And I saw that she was not in a place where she was extremely ready. So, I was just like, hey, look, we bought the child a cell phone. We see that my husband calls her 3 times a day. At the time, he was my fiance. He calls her 3 times a day, but we pay the bill. So we see that she's answering everybody else's phone calls. Have you trained her not to answer his? Well, you know what? I did say that I would never work with him and I would make sure these kids never know him, but I know that's not right. I said, okay, sister, we on the right path. And you know what, Naja? I know that you are good for this man, and I can tell that he loves you. Okay, sister, and I appreciate you saying that. And she also said, I'm sorry. Because, she, like, I don't want to do interviews and my stepchildren listen to them one day and they hear me talking bad about their mother. Because, so I'm not going to, talk about all the adult details of things that happen. I might blog about it and put it in a documentary, but hopefully it'll be in a place where she can sit with me right. And we can just talk to the camera and be like, this is what happened.
Right.
But at that point, I realized, I'd asked her, can we have a continuing conversation after we had the 3 hour? And I was like, look, this has been a marathon. She apologized for just some of the things that she had done in her anger and frustration. She was like, look, I was angry and I was bitter and I was pissed. And I said, girlfriend, I get it. While I didn't feel like I deserved the things that had happened to me as a result of how she was feeling, I was like, that's fine. Hey, I could let it go. And then I also apologized for, like, I was trying to think of, like, Naja, what are you sorry for? Because you didn't take this man from her. He was already, they were already done. You didn't, like, what are you sorry for? And I just said, I'm sorry for being the face and the representative of all those years of pain that you guys went through. I said, I know all that pain that you went through is compounded onto Naja. And while I know I didn't deserve it, I said, as a woman, I can understand. Right. While I would have not handled things the way you did, I've not been through a divorce. I've not given a man not one, not two, but 3 children, and then have to figure out how to do it on my own. Like, I've not done that. And so, she admitted a lot of things to me, and I appreciated her for that. And, we didn't speak again, unfortunately. We made plans to speak again. I did follow up with her as I told her I would, but she didn't take the phone calls or respond to my texts. And I was like, okay, she's not ready. And, and that's where it was. So that's just where we are now.
And being in that place, if you could talk to her again, if she was sitting right here where I'm sitting, what would you say to their mom?
I honestly, I'm sure most people here are spiritual people, because when you're in a blended family situation and some of this craziness happens, you just turn to God. Like, that's when your prayer game goes all the way up. Like, you turn to God. So at this point, seeing the 3 years of the things that have happened and wanting and praying for resolutions, because my husband is ready, I am ready, the children are even ready, because when we have them, it takes a couple of hours to get them comfortable, but it's just like we didn't miss a beat. Like, it's literally like we didn't miss a beat. So everyone is ready except for one person in our family unit. This woman is my family. Mm-hmm. She is, this woman is my family. Like, that's just what it is. Like, she is.
Right.
So I would not, at this point, I can't speak to her physical. As a spiritual person, I would speak to those spirits within her. I would speak to the God in her, and I would speak to the other part, the darkness in her. And I believe that you can command darkness away from a person and away from your life force. And I believe you can ask God to override it. So if she was physically speaking to me sitting here right now, I wouldn't even talk to her as a human. I would speak to the spirit inside her. Mm-hmm. And I would tell the darkness to flee. I would ask God to come in, and I would grab her hand and I would say, let's pray together. Because what do we need to do? Because I'm here. I'm his wife. I'm your children's stepmother. I'm the woman that's going to have these children when they're with their dad. Because when they're with us, who do they wake up and ask for food? Who do they take care of? Like, who's taking care of them? Like, who's doing all this stuff? So, I would want to be able to just call her up, be like, hey girl, so how do I need to do her hair today? Or what does he like to eat? I would love to have that. And so that's what I would do. If you have not landed in the reward part, I would say don't be so hard on yourself, because it takes the average family 5 to 7 years to blend.
Oh, wow.
5 to 7 years. That's on average. That is if, once you get through all the bumps in the road, logistics, once you get the court battles and finances out of the way, parents start to get on one accord, and then the kids start to accept. Like, it takes 5 to 7 years. So I'm gonna say, number 1, don't be so hard on yourself. Number 2, be very pray and stay pray. Keep your faith up. This is a lesson and a test for all of us. God's strongest soldiers are given the toughest. What's the rest of it? I don't know what it is. But given the toughest battles. Yes. So stay prayed up. Number 3, I would say be the bigger person. When you want to make that snide, nasty remark, keep your mouth shut. When you want to say something to those kids about how awful their mother or their father is, keep your mouth shut. Number 4, allow your children to have a relationship, and maybe even facilitate a relationship with their step-parent, because that makes them happy, because children have a loyalty bond. If I know, let's just say I was the stepmother in your baby's life. Right. If he knew that you did not like me, and you made comments, and he saw us fighting, and he heard things, he's going to automatically have a loyalty bond to you, because you're the person he spends the most time with, his mother. So when he comes to be with me, he's going to be uncomfortable. He's going to be detached, disengaged. He might be a little bit disrespectful. And why would you put a child in that position? So encourage your children and let them know it's okay. Give them permission to like their step-parents. When they're with their other parent, and this is for the custodial parents, when they're visiting their other house, I don't really like to say visiting, because it should be like their other home.
Right.
Don't call too much. Don't be so abrasive. Let the other parent have their time, and don't expect to be in control or know everything that's going on in their household. And you guys might not always agree on on parenting, But just understand, like, this is your situation. You can't, like, you're not in the same household with your child's parents. So there's a certain level of control that you have to let go. So let go of that control. The next thing I would say is to show love every chance you get. Show love and be gracious. And then just let it damn go. Let it go. Let it go. Like, if you're listening to this right now, let it go. Whatever it is that you're holding on to, the pain from your own childhood, what that man said to you 5 years ago, or what that woman told your child, let it go. Let it go. You are harboring ugliness and nastiness and bitterness, and you're not growing because of it, and your children are not growing because of it. I guarantee you. You know, you might say, "Oh, my kids don't need their dad, or my kids don't need their mom." I've heard parents say this. I've seen parents in our support group say that, and I feel so bad for the kids, and I also feel bad for this adult. Like, what happened to you in your childhood to where you would think that a child doesn't need both parents, given that both parents are willing and able, and it's both parents are healthy mentally or whatever. I could go on and on and on and on, but I do put all this stuff on the blog, so y'all can just check the Blended in Black website, just blendedinblack.com, and look for tips on healthy parenting and healthy living. And lastly, keep the kids first. That should have been the first thing I said, but I'm glad I made it the last. Keep the kids first. When you realize these children did not ask to be here. They didn't ask for their mom and dad to be fighting over their head, and mom trying to force them to call a new man dad, or stepmom to be so nasty and mean because she really resents the fact that they're there. These children did not ask for that. So they're already in a broken family. Don't make them become broken individuals. So put these kids first. And that, even if you are a step parent, I really encourage you to put the children first, because these are not children that you had the pleasure of creating, but you are with their parent now. You're their parent's support system. My husband calls me daddy's assistant. So that's how, when it's time to discipline, like, look, Miss Naja is daddy's assistant. So if she tells you to do something, it's coming from me. So, put yourself in a place for growth and positivity, and keep those kids first. If you can just do that and remember that, that'll save a lot of drama. That'll save a lot of problems. Look at your baby and be like, wow, okay, absolutely. Let me not focus on me and my anger and my hatred for this person. And let me see this beautiful thing that we created together. Let me focus on that. And that'll help a lot of us, I believe. All of us that are included. That'll help us.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And I'm glad that you reminded me of that, because a lot of times it's I.
Yeah.
And the ego gets in the way, and your feelings, it's a distraction.
Yes.
And so ultimately it is about the kids first. Thank you so much for the interview.
Thank you for having me.
Before we go, though, I do have one last question.
Okay.
We've talked a lot about Blended in Black. You mentioned the website.
Yes.
Go ahead and let them know all the other avenues that they can get connected with Blended in Black.
Oh, yes.
And then also let us know what's next.
Okay, so we have a website, which is the hub of the entire platform, blendedinblack.com. And everywhere on social media, the podcast you can search for that on SoundCloud and iTunes, Blended in Black, Instagram, Twitter. We have a Facebook page. One of the things that's very fun is, like, our social part is a Facebook group. So you just look for a Blended in Black support group. Here recently, since numbers have grown beyond to where I can just man it myself, I created a team of ambassadors. And these are people that are, like, there's 6,500 people in the group. So I really went sifting through, and I found people that are social workers, child behavioral specialists, child support attorneys, family law attorneys.
Okay.
If you go to meet our team, you can get free help from these people. There's like 6 or 7 people, and more are coming every day. I got to look through the applications, but I want people to get help. And I want you to know that I'm your advocate, and there's so many advocates that are out here. So when you go to the website, just look at it. I write for the blog all the time. I contribute to other people's blogs as well. I'm not going to drop their names because it's my interview, but I'm a contributor as well for other publications and stuff like that. And some of those I do post on the blog. So there's all sorts of helpful articles on the blog. And what's next? So Blended in Black has a docuseries. It's a documentary that I'm currently filming, and I go into people's homes and they tell me, like, all of their tea. Like, they're all blended families. And I've interviewed step parents, biological parents, stepchildren, adult stepchildren, young step kids, and it's really raw. It's just raw and it's emotional, and it's, I can see that people want help, but they just, like, a lot of the people that are on camera, they want help. They just know the situation that they're in is jacked up, and they just don't know how to get out of it. And that makes me feel helpless, but then I go extra hard to be like, what can I do to give this person resources? Because when I see a person wants help, I'm gonna help them. Now, I've had some people that come in like, I won't ever be a part of a blended family. Yes, I have a child with this person, but I don't want him to know them. I've had some people that are just not willing. And those are the people that I give parallel parenting plans to, because I want to help them too. If you are just unwilling, then it's not lost. Your child isn't lost. There's still a way around them. So that we have the documentary. We have a podcast. We got the Blended in Black podcast, and y'all, it is juicy. It is, like, people be on there like spilling all their tea, and we had, like, this next podcast that I'm doing, the ex-wife is playing a recording that she has between her ex-husband and his then mistress, and but these women are cool now. Because, I'm not about mess and drama. I'm about showing you, like, look, you can turn your mess into a message. So we have both of these women coming on the show, and they're going to talk about how they can actually sit next to each other and not knock each other's lights out. So we have the podcast, and that's on SoundCloud and iTunes. But you just go to blendedinblack.com. You can find that. What else? What did I mean? I mentioned the documentary. I mentioned the podcast. I'm working on a book, but I'm working on a Blended in Black book, and I'm like, it's still so much to be worked out. I don't know when it's going to be done, but
And I know you talked about the parallel parenting. So is this like a one-on-one session or support that someone can reach out to you for, or was that just in particular to the documentary?
So no. So with parallel parenting, the experts that I found, because you asked what made me an expert, I can't be an expert in everything. Okay. But I have found some people whose expertise is getting their child support arrears completely deleted. I found a person that's an expert in parallel parenting, co-parenting, divorce. Like, I found people that this is all that they do. And I've added them to the Blended in Black team. So if it's something I can't help you with, then I have a resource for you. You just reach out. And on the team members, like, we even have a lady that's an expert that's in a same-sex marriage. Her wife has a child, obviously with a guy, and she teaches people how to navigate that. So we have something for everybody, but we do have a person that's also an expert in parallel parenting, where it just could not work out. So yeah, I make announcements and stuff in the group first. Like, I always, anytime something new has happened, like with this interview here, I'm so excited to share it with the group, because anytime something new has happened, it's in the group. So if you're not a part of the group, please join it. Just go to Blended in Black support group on Facebook, and just request to join, and we'll accept you. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
The thorough interview.
Thank you for having me.
I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, my name is Aminah Imani. We're going to list all the information where you can get to know more about me. I'm also in the Blended in Black family support group. And again, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me,
very much
Aminah.
Appreciated. And I always tell other parents that I know about the support group. And
thank
also
you.
how you
thank
just
you.
was a bright light in my life.
Thank
and,
you.
I appreciate
Blended in Black. Blended in Black. Yeah. And this who we choose to be our family. Yeah.